Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another bullet journal video, one of the last two of this year and this decade. If you're new here, hey, my name is Amanda. I make subpar videos on the internet, and this is today's subpar video, my 2020 bullet journal setup video. This year I'm using an Archer and Olive dotted A5 notebook with 160 GSM pages. I've heard a lot of great things about this one and I wanted to try it out. The paper is so white and so thick, I love it. And so I wanted to keep my cover page really simple so I didn't mess it up. I am using a Polaroid from my Polaroid One Step Plus that I recently purchased for myself. Merry Christmas to me. And I'm pasting a photo of my mom, sister, and I on there along with a caption of the year and a quote, just keeping it nice and simple. I am not an artist and so I didn't want to humiliate myself by trying something new on a fresh page and having it look bad. The quote is from The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. It reads, "As long as I am acting out of love, I feel I am doing the best I know how." I feel like that is going to be a really valid quote for me in 2020 because I'm going to be doing a lot of things out of love and passion for my crafts of writing, photography, video, etc. Just seemed fitting. And also I just really like it. This is my future log. I am doing a 2-page spread for the future log. There's my head, sorry about that. I'm splitting each page into 2 horizontal columns, or not columns, whatever they are, 2 horizontal sections, and then dividing each of those sections into 3 columns for all of the 12 months. And then at the top, I'm gonna do a little mini calendar, and then at the bottom, there'll be space to write upcoming events. There's my first mistake, yay! If I was in dance class, I'd be applauding right now because that's what you do in dance. You applaud because if someone falls, it means that they had the courage to try something new and fail in front of everyone. But we're not in dance, we're doing bullet journaling. Same thing though. So how's everybody feeling about 2020? How's everybody feeling about 2019? I feel like 2019 was a really rough year for a lot of us. I know it was rough for me. I feel like in a lot of ways this year I've gone forward, but I've also gone backward. In some ways, I think I'm starting out exactly the same way that I ended 2018, and I think in a lot of other ways, I am farther than I ever thought possible from the beginning of 2018 to now, which sounds really sappy, but is kind of true. I don't know, I'm really excited to see what happens in 2020. I plan on doing a lot with my novel that I finished in October. I think I'm going to be doing a lot with photography and videography, and I'm really excited to renew my commitment to the things that bring me joy. The most tedious part of doing these kinds of spreads like future logs is all of the writing and all the tiny lettering I have to do. I only messed up 1 month though, and I'm really proud. I only messed up April, but I'm gonna go back and fix it so it's okay. But for all of these numbers, I think I did pretty well. I like to keep all of my introductory spreads at the beginning of each bullet journal really simple with not a lot of color, just because I feel like having a nice blank canvas that's very monochrome is aesthetically pleasing to me. But of course, if you use any of these spreads as your own, feel free to color them, do whatever works for you. It's so much fun to add your own twist on things, and far be it from me to police how you create. But I like to keep it real simple. It just makes my eyes happy. By the way, for all these spreads, I'm using a combination of Pigma Micron pens, 0.38 pens from the Muji store, and you'll see them later, I have my mild liners that I got off Amazon. I'll link everything that I use below as per usual, and that way you can get all of the supplies that I use if you want them. Although, of course, if all you have are markers, colored pencils, and pens, and a ruler, that's fine. Bullet journaling is about exactly what you want to make it to be. And I've been doing this this is my 3rd year, so I've got lots of experience on that front. I also created a Pinterest board with 2020 bullet journal inspiration spreads and stuff, and I don't really know how to use Pinterest, but I'll link that board below if you want other inspiration. I wouldn't recommend following me on Pinterest because I don't know what I'm doing, but the board is there. Last year I didn't really even make a future log and use it. I just created one this year because I already have things that are coming up way in advance. I have something in April, something in May, something in November. It's just better to plan ahead for me, so I figured I'd just add it in. Plus these pages are so smooth and pretty, like I just wanted to use as many as possible for my 2020 setup. I'm shameless. These next two pages are pages that I did this past year, 2018, and I'm really excited to bring them back. The first one is a books read page. I'm drawing a little simple geometric straight line bookshelf, and I'm going to be drawing all of these books, and I'll fill them in as the year goes with their titles and authors as room provides. I just wanted a way to track all the books that I read in the year. I did this in 2018 and it was a lot of fun to record all of the titles that I had read, and it was also a good way to kind of make sure that I read books, because a lot of times I would forget to order them from the library and stuff, and that was just sad. So it was a good reason to have an excuse to read. If anyone's interested in hearing about the books I read in 2018, let me know. I'm happy to do it. I didn't read a lot of new releases. I tend to just read what I feel like reading, not necessarily what's popular or what's new. So in 2018 I read books like Call Me By Your Name, and I finally reread It by Stephen King. I read it when I was 16 and I reread it finally. I'd been meaning to, and then the movie came out and I was like, oh okay, guess I'll read it now. But yeah, I mean, I try to keep it to what I like to read instead of reading things because I feel like I have to, because I never really enjoy the books that I read out of duty, like school books. Wow, yeah, I just realized 2008. I just realized that 2019 was the first year that I did not go to school. I graduated in 2018. That's really weird. Whoa. Huh, anyway, okay, that tiny crisis aside, if you read any good books in 2019, let me know. I would love to add them to my to-read list. I kind of just go by like what's on Tumblr and what people are talking about to get books, but I'd love to have something a little bit more substantial to go off of, so I am taking your recommendations. Also, yes, I did outline all of these spreads in pencil first just to make sure the spacing was correct and everything. I am not one of those people that can just freehand all this stuff. I'm far too anxious for that. So I definitely did pre-outline all of these spreads. But again, I will reiterate, because I know a lot of people watch these videos as they're setting up a bullet journal for the first time, and you don't have to have fancy spreads or anything aesthetic, trademark sign. You can set up a bullet journal that is as simple or complex as you need it to be, because at the end of the day, a bullet journal is designed for you to help you keep your life on track and organized in the way that makes sense for you. On this other side is a spread that I did in 2019, and I wanted to reprise it here. It's a year in pixels spread. I'm drawing all these grids and squares in tiny lines to track my overarching mood for each day in all of 2020. So all of these squares represent every day of the year, and there's a lot of lines, and it makes me kind of dizzy to look at if I look at it for too long, but the point is to color in a square every day, thus having a record of how I felt each day. I realized that I should have numbered the squares on the long end and labeled them with the month, each column on the top. I'll do that. I just forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. In 2019, I didn't really keep up with this spread. I would go for like half a month without recording my moods, and then I would just go back and like do them all in bulk. But I have a pretty good memory of my day-to-day, so that was never a problem. It was just kind of not the point of the exercise, you know? So hopefully in 2020 I can keep up with it a bit more diligently. But it was interesting to look back and see how many days I felt happy or sad or busy or stressed or sick or just meh, neutral. I'm using my mild liners to color in these squares. I carry these mild liners with me whenever I go out in my pencil case, so it's nice to keep them with as nice, consistent colors. They look very vibrant on camera, which is also kind of fun. They're more muted in real life. As a side note, how do y'all feel about this quality? I got a new tripod for Christmas and a new camera before that. I bought that with my own money. So I'm really having fun with this enhanced production quality. Hopefully I can figure out how to work it. I ask for your patience as I learn how color metering works on this new fancy camera and how my lenses work on this new fancy camera. The tripod's nice though because it extends straight out over a table so you guys get better overhead shots. Anyway, these two spreads are reprisals of ones that I have done in the past. I did this one in 2018 and I did the one over there as a test in 2019, and I'm doing it, bringing it back. The one I'm working on right now is my Myers-Briggs personality type spread. I am ISFJT, the Defender, and I just drew out from the test all of the percentages of different personality aspects I am. And then over here on the right, I did my Enneagram type. I'm type 6, the Loyalist, and I did word clouds around it of some of the defining aspects of this type. Something like good troubleshooter, fights for beliefs, the phrases I just want to be safe and I worry because I care, committed, warm, things like that. And then for both sides I also wrote down the characters in fiction that have the MBTI type or Enneagram type that I have, because I'm me and I love fictional characters and books and movies and TV, so it just made sense. I think there's something very interesting about these kinds of personality tests. I was very surprised by how accurate both of them are, especially the Myers-Briggs one, because when I wrote down the strengths and weaknesses, I was shocked at how accurate they were. So it was fun to do that. By the way, for my Enneagram type in fiction, I share this type with characters such as Veronica Mars, Kylo Ren, Lucas Sinclair from Stranger Things, Jordan Green from The 100, Bilbo Baggins, Hamlet, and Beverly Marsh from It. I thought that was very interesting. And also I can see it. Over here on the MBTI type side, I colored in my lower percentages in gray and my higher percentages in purple. I actually incidentally and accidentally outlined these bars to be a perfect 100%. There's 2 spaces for every 10%, so these are actually accurate. Thought that was pretty fun. I'm proud of myself. I didn't even do it on purpose. The thing that surprised me the least was that my extroversion was at 10% and my introversion was at 90%. That's pretty accurate for me. Over here on my Enneagram type, I tried to emulate what I did in my initial layout on my iPad. I didn't feel comfortable using watercolors on this page, so I just used my fine liners to outline them in different colors. I don't know why, but I just thought blue was very fitting, so I just used blue and gray. These colors are very vibrant on the page. I promise they're not that bright in real life. If you're looking for mute colors, these are the way to go. If you've done spreads like this or you know your types, please let me know in the comments. I always am interested to hear about other people's personality types and MBTI and Enneagrams. They're so fascinating. Also tell me, if you did this test, what was the most shocking percentages for you or the least shocking? I think I was surprised by how my tactics and my energy came out. I definitely did not expect those results. Under the strengths and weaknesses for my MBTI type, I tried to jot down 3 and 3. I'm really good at identifying weaknesses, but not so much strengths, so I wanted to work on that. Our strengths are we are supportive, patient, imaginative, and our weaknesses we are repressed, change-resistant, shy, and conflict-adverse. And I share this type with fiction characters such as John Watson, Will Byers from Stranger Things, Steve Rogers, Bellamy Blake from The 100, Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, and Bill Denbrough from It. Again, I'm not surprised. Also, if you're curious, I did use my iPad to plan out these spreads and how they would look. I used the app Paper, which is free, and it's awesome if you have an iPad Pro like I do. Check it out. This is a page that I shamelessly stole from Amanda Rach Lee here on YouTube. She did this last year. It is a Polaroid of the year page. I take one Polaroid on my Instax Mini 8 per month, and I can paste them in these squares. I thought it would be a fun way to commemorate things, and I really like using my Polaroid, and I have so much film for it that I need an excuse to use it more. So this was my answer. I did do another additional 4 squares, on the opposite page, because only 4 could fit to a page, but that's okay. I'm really excited to use this. I have a photo album for these little Polaroids that I print out, but It's nice to have a living record of them in my bullet journal, and I can also caption them beneath the photo itself, so that was also really nice. It was the perfect spacing. And I figured it would be too, because Amanda Rachel used an Archer and Olive notebook, so I figured that her sizing would be correct. I'm glad I was right, because sometimes I don't judge sizes correctly. And last but not least is a goals page. I have 6 areas I want to work on in 2020, and I thought it would be nice to have a space to write down tangible goals for each. There's my head again. So I'm going to be focusing this year on my personal and professional goals, as well as goals for my novel, for photography, for YouTube, and for Instagram. My head needs to move. I'm so sorry, folks. This year I really want to focus on my novel. I really want to finish it and get it at least ready to either submit to grad school or query to agents, whichever way I decide to go. I also want to renew my commitment to YouTube and photography and keep bullet journaling, so I'm excited to hopefully make those goals a reality. I also added a thicker line on this side just to add some dimension, because I am related to someone who went to art school, so I hear these words and try to implement them. What are your goals for 2020? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're doing. Maybe it'll give me some inspiration. But hey, it's a new decade. Roaring 20s, baby! So we gotta start it off right. Finally, I'm doing my Dear Amanda page. I write a letter to myself at the beginning of every year to be read at the end of that same year. So I just made a space for that. And finally, I decided to accent the goals page with some color because it was looking a little bleak. And that's it for my 2020 spread. Thank you so much for spending this year with me. I'm so excited to take you along with me in 2020. If you're interested in seeing everything from bullet journal videos to vlogs to sit-down chats about creativity, please hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment with video requests, hit me up on Instagram at GoAskAJ. I'm always around. I would love to hear from you. This is going to be an awesome year, and I'm so excited to share it with you and see what you do this year, because it's going to be amazing. You are going to be amazing. It's the Roaring 20s, baby. It's time to be extra, take big risks, go crazy with your fashion choices, you know, as you do. Thank you so much for watching. I love you very much. Please be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. Happy holidays, merry whatever it is you celebrate. I will see you super, super soon with my January setup. Bye!